Hello and welcome back to our 30 Days of Brain Health Tips. I'm Dr. Tatiana, a board certified chiropractic neurologist, and today we're going to be talking about the importance of vitamin D and maybe getting vitamin D through the sun, which is a great source of provitamin D. But we might also need to consider supplementing depending on what our vitamin D status is, and we can easily have that evaluated on our blood work. So welcome to day 17 of our brain health tips. I hope you've been following along, and if you're just recently jumping on and catching these tips, then feel free to go back to day 1 and catch the replays. So we know that vitamin D is a really important, we call it a vitamin, but it actually is really a prohormone, and it has a lot of important roles and functions in our body, not just only in terms of our bones, but we also know that we need it for a variety of different metabolic processes, and it does help in our brain health and vitality. Now, the best is to make sure that you are getting your vitamin D status assessed when you are getting blood drawn. So definitely talk with your practitioner, with your doctor, to make sure that when you are getting blood done, even if you're just doing a once a year yearly, or if you're going in more often for blood work, you don't have to have vitamin D done unless you're monitoring it and looking to work on improving its ranges. If it happens to be rather low, then you'll have it done a little more regularly to keep tabs on it. But generally, if you're having it done once or twice a year, that's a pretty good indicator to see what's going on. Now, lab ranges and what is considered sufficient vitamin D status, and what the research shows that we actually will do better with higher levels of vitamin D in versus just what the lab range is. So this is one of those things where you don't necessarily want to just look at the lab range, which tends to be about 30, and kind of go, oh, good, things are good. Because honestly, the research has shown us that we really are looking to have our vitamin D levels a little bit higher, maybe in the 50s, 60s, or even 70s. And for some people who have some various conditions going on, sometimes even just a little higher vitamin D might be valuable. Of course, always discuss all of this with your doctor and make sure that you are following their recommendations. But this is one of those things that you don't want to just look at the lab and go, oh, okay, things are really good. Even vitamin D levels of 20 would be considered just an insufficient on the labs, and that's actually considered quite low. So I would encourage you, if you have some up and coming blood work, then definitely ask for vitamin D. It's not that expensive of a test to have there, and just double check, because a lot of times people assume that they're getting enough vitamin D from the sun. And believe it or not, even those who live in sunny climates, I am here in Florida and I draw a lot, or I know I personally don't draw the blood, but I have my patients go out for blood work very often. I will be looking at blood for patients, and I have to say, 9 out of 10 patients are very low on their vitamin D status, and they're here in Florida and they're outside and in the sun and things like this. So we can't just go by, oh, I've been outside for 20 minutes, I should be getting enough vitamin D. Now, we know that sunlight is also very important for our brain, just the actual sunlight and that just that exposure to the sun, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're getting enough vitamin D. So double check with your doctor for blood work and go from there, and check in to see that you're getting enough. And if not, then there are certainly multiple ways to encourage vitamin D status to increase with various supplementations. And again, check in with your doctor about what types and how to take and how often, how much. So for your brain health tip today, please make sure to get your vitamin D status checked. All right, I will see you tomorrow for another brain health tip. Till then.